it's been a little while since I last posted, so I wanted to come back with another Mirtazapine update. It's nearly 1 month that I've been on the 45 milligrams, the highest dose here in the UK. And I just wanted to do a little post saying how I'm doing. I'm still going to do a month update as well in a week's time, but yeah, at the moment things are quite chilled, if it can be described as that. It probably can't be just described as chilled, but that's how I'm going to describe it anyway. In terms of how I've been feeling, the anxiety's been quite low. It had got really high, my anxiety, when my parents were away, and they've been back for over a week now, and I think it's the relief of them being back calmed the anxiety, and it's like that relief almost gives us almost motivation and propels us forward. So I feel better for a while, and sometimes I crash afterwards. The crash hasn't happened yet. I haven't felt super depressed. The OCD hasn't been horrendous, and it hasn't been as difficult to eat this past week. The concerns I have though is, even though it hasn't been as difficult to eat, I'm still only hitting like 2,000 calories, and ideally I want to be getting like 3,000, 4,000 calories in, because so many people seem to be ravenously hungry. They seem to be able to eat a shit ton and they gain loads of weight even if I don't want to. I just don't seem to have that. Like, I don't feel hungry. I can't remember the last time I felt hungry, even before the med. I struggle with feeling hungry and thirst and stuff like that, which is weird. I don't feel thirsty either, so I could get really dehydrated without realising. So yeah, I really wish I could eat a shit ton, but for some reason I'm only hitting 2,000 calories, so 2,000 isn't a lot for someone of my height and build. I think I've said it before, I'm like 5'11", 6 foot, so 3,000 calories wouldn't be massive. It would be probably standard for someone of my build. So I would like to be getting there, but it doesn't feel possible. And either 2,000 calories is me going full sending it, like pushing myself, force feeding myself. So yeah, it's annoying, man. I want to gain weight. Like, I'm still so skinny. Even though I'm still at my highest weight of 120 pounds, which is like 8.5 stone, it's still not good enough. I still feel really weak. In terms of me sleeping as well, I think I had, when I was on the lower doses, so like the 15 mil and the 30 milligrams, I was sleeping anywhere between 10 hours, sometimes up to 11 or 12, I think. Then I kind of calmed down, and I was like down to 8, and then I went up to the 45 milligrams, and I was still sleeping maybe 8 hours. But lately it's back up to like 10 hours, and I think it was even 11 hours I had last night. So I've been sleeping a lot more on this higher dose again, even though it's supposed to be less sedating, and it doesn't make us sleepy on the night time. I just seem to sleep for a long time. I've been having some funky dreams lately as well, very vivid. But that isn't a massive issue. I don't really care if I have vivid dreams or if I cry in my sleep or anything like that. I don't really give a toss as long as I'm sleeping. But yeah, that's been happening. I mentioned it in some other videos as well, and I was speaking to someone in the comments as well about dry eyes. I still have quite dry eyes. There's always like funky bits in the corners here when I wake up, and yeah, it can be. I used to use drops, but I don't anymore. I just kind of try and wet my eyes when I'm in the shower, and that seems to kind of help it for a while. I don't know. And that's it really. So mentally it hasn't been like torture lately. The dpdr, the dissociation's still there. I haven't snapped back to reality or anything. I'm still not feeling real. Nothing around us feels real. So it could be described as hell like that, but in terms of how I usually am, and how I'm feeling now, it's probably a decent period for us. Again, probably just a relief of my parents being back and going from such an anxious state for days and not being able to eat to kind of being less anxious and being able to eat again, propels us forward in some kind of way. Yeah, and there's other things which buggers, like I really need a haircut, but I just can't seem to push myself to go out. Like, I don't know, I still feel quite anxious about that, like being trapped in a chair for half an hour getting my hair done. Feels a bit overwhelming. And I don't feel like I can face it. But I'm struggling to tell if it's one of those things where if I just push myself and do it, it'll be done and I'll be fine. But I just have that mental block still. I don't seem to want to be able to do it. It just seems really daunting. So yeah, I see me GP tomorrow evening as well. Tomorrow being Thursday. So I'm gonna see what he says. He'll be asking how I'm getting on this higher dose, and I'll tell him how things aren't too bad, and he'll just say stay on this and see how things go. See my psychologist yesterday, who I see every single week. I pay for privately to see her. Been seeing her since August last year. I don't seem to get any better. Therapy doesn't seem to be for me. I've done 3 rounds of CBT on the NHS as well. But yeah, I've seen my psychologist. She said there is Mirtazapine's addicting. I think she's had people who've had a bad experience with it. And she obviously sees them and they probably had a horrible withdrawal or something, but that's me kind of putting 2 and 2 together and making assumptions, so maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, she doesn't want us on it for too long, especially if it isn't making a massive difference. But I don't know, maybe it is making a difference because I haven't had a massive panic attack in a bit. I was very close to one when my parents were away multiple times, but yeah, it's difficult to tell whether it's doing something or not. I can't really gauge it. Yeah, that's where we're at. I think that's everything I wanted to get off my chest. Like sometimes I really want to go outside, see people, meet new people, like have a good time, and then it's that again, like I was saying with the hairdressers, it's that like mental block. I feel like I want to do it, but at the same time it seems exhausting, and like I don't, like when I used to do it, I used to go to clubs every so often, on very rare occasions, like when I was 18, and I would just kind of stand there, sip on a drink and not really have a good time and just like be exhausted before things even started, and I'd just go home early. I'd always have to go home early. So just like, yeah, it's almost like a fantasy in my head. I want to do those things, but really it never really feels good when I do it. And I feel like I'm in the same headspace as I was then. Probably worse because the anxiety's a lot worse and more depressed, but I don't know. I want to do things, meet people, see if that helps us, but at the same time, I don't feel like I have the mental capacity for that. Like, yeah, I'm not good at like keeping friendships going. Like I have a TikTok which is quite decent. Now like 6,000 people on there, and I have people reaching out saying like, do you want to do something? Do you want to meet up? And it's like, they said they're always there to talk, and I kind of just like, it fizzles out because I can't keep things going, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's something I want to try and get better at. And again, it's probably more me as a person. things I need to work on, and not necessarily something that can pin me anxiety and depression on. It's something I need to try and build up, but yeah, that's me little rant over. Again, I'm gonna do a 1 month update in a week's time, just for the sake of documenting things, and things can change a lot in a week with me. We'll see. I hope you're well. Thank you for watching this long if you're here right now. And I'll keep you as posted. Have a cushy day.